A lot of people, including myself, don't specifically buy a truck to get phenomenal fuel economy, so anything I could do to bump my truck's MPG up even just a little bit without changing my driving, of course, is a benefit to me. Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Let me start off this video by saying I am a full believer in miles per gallon, i.e. I try not to fret too much about the average MPG reading I get on this truck. Now after all, I do daily drive the truck, so even though that might seem a little important, I ultimately bought the truck to do stuff like this. But with the price of gas rising nearly everywhere in the States, especially in Southern California where I live, as well as MPG just being a big topic I see a lot in the comment section of my channel, today I figured I'd share with you guys 3 of the easiest and cheapest methods I follow to get the most MPG out of my Toyota Tacoma. This video is sponsored by Techron. I'm really excited to be working with them, but I'm even more excited to show you guys how using Techron's complete fuel system cleaner can do amazing things to your truck or other vehicle, like boosting your MPG, cleaning your engine, and even extending the lifetime on your truck. But more on that in a little bit. If you're curious on what my MPG reading is, well, it varies. At my best, when I drive to and from work, which is pretty much just all highway driving for an hour, I can easily average 20 to 21 miles per gallon when there's no traffic. However, as many of you know, I spend a lot of my weekends on the trails, which is just driving slow for long distances, and actually it's quite a bit of sitting while the truck is on because I do filming for the channel, so on those days it's not uncommon for me to average sub 10 miles per gallon on the trail alone. So in my experience, no matter what you do, your average MPG rating will heavily vary on the type of driving you end up doing. So I just want to make it clear that the point of this video isn't to show you any drastic results I've gotten, but honestly, just show you some really easy and quick ways I've been able to slightly boost my MPG without having to modify my truck at all or change the way I've driven. So let's get into it. So the first way is pretty simple, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this, but it's basically just to make sure you're not running a super low tire pressure when you're driving on road, of course. Now for the stock tires in my 2019 TRD Off-Road Tacoma, the recommended PSI, or pounds per square inch, is 30. However, I not only have a completely different tire, but I also have a completely different tire size. I'm running 265/70 R17 BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires, so the recommended PSI for these guys is slightly altered from stock. It's about 32 to 36 PSI. Now the maximum tire pressure I could technically fill these guys up to, according to what's on the tire, is 50 PSI, but obviously we don't want a really rough ride and we don't want to be airing up close to that, so to maximize fuel economy without changing my ride quality too much on road, I like filling up these guys to around 35 to 36 PSI. So the basic science behind running higher tire pressure to help increase your MPG is that it decreases rolling resistance, or essentially the friction between your tire and the road. Keep in mind there are many reasons we don't want to run these tires at 50 PSI. We just don't want to air up too much in general. One of those reasons being that we can wear the middle of the tire more quickly because the tire profile is making less contact with the road. Another thing about airing up too much is you can end up with a really rough ride, so I recommend finding a happy medium by being about 35 to 36 PSI on road. Now I find myself airing up and down a lot, so I recently installed an ARB air compressor under my driver's seat, and I have a whole video on how I did that. It's a really cool setup, and I'll link it down below if you're interested. However, if you don't need to air up and down a lot, there are pretty inexpensive cordless inflators you can get in the $15 to $30 range. It just might take you slightly longer to air up. Now this Tacoma is relatively new. It's a 2019 with 25,000 miles on it, and just because it's so new, I have never really put much thought into using fuel additives until I started doing more research and realized I could maximize my MPG by using them, and specifically I started doing research on Techron's complete fuel system cleaner. Now if you go to a Chevron gas station, which I feel like I'm doing all the time if you watch my Instagram stories, you get a dosage of Techron every time you pump gas, and Techron's known for its cleaning benefits and helping to keep your engine running smooth. Now, getting this small dose of Techron every time you pump gas is like brushing your teeth every night, but using this stuff, the complete fuel system cleaner, is like going to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned. Except it's a lot less painful and much easier than going to the dentist because A, you could do it from anywhere, your garage or driveway, and B, it's so easy to do. It only took me about 10 seconds to use. I just poured this one 20-ounce bottle of it into my almost empty gas tank of my Tacoma, fueled up with gas, and that was it. But behind the scenes and what's going on in your actual truck when you use one bottle of this stuff is it restores possible lost engine power, prevents piston sticking, and prevents corrosion, which are all things that can help maximize your fuel economy. Now, I know what you might be thinking, does my Tacoma really have these problems? Because it is relatively new, and like I said before, I didn't really put much thought into it, but actually carbon deposits can start building up at only 20,000 miles. And when I drive this truck, I drive it for long distances, sometimes with even a lot of load in the back, which means my engine is typically running at high temperatures. And this is a condition where you can actually build up quite a bit of carbon deposits over time. So bottom line, without getting into too much detail, using even just one bottle of this stuff can help you maximize fuel economy pretty early on. And personally, I just think using this stuff, or at least trying it out, is totally worth it because when used properly, it can only help your truck. It's relatively inexpensive and eventually will help pay for itself. And my favorite part about it is it's quick and it takes no effort whatsoever to use. Now we're gonna have to drive at least 4,500 miles to start seeing the results from this thing and start seeing the benefits, so I will definitely be making an update video for you guys on how much I like this complete fuel system cleaner for my Tacoma. But right now, I really want to know what you guys think of this stuff in the comment section down below. I do try to read all your comments and respond to all the ones when I can. This is the first bottle I've ever used on my Tacoma, but actually, whenever we could, my family has always gone to Chevron gas stations. My younger sister actually now drives the family's original 2004 Toyota Sequoia. It has over 200,000 miles on it, which I know sound like rookie numbers for Toyota, but it still runs smooth and it has had just basic maintenance. So I'm just stoked to use this stuff for my Tacoma because I know it will extend its lifetime. So if you have a 3rd gen Tacoma and you want to use this stuff, just use one 20 fluid ounce bottle of this stuff every 3,000 miles. And if you're interested, you can find it in places like Walmart, Advanced Auto Parts, and actually Amazon sells a 6-pack, which is the pack I have and I really like because I just like to have this stuff stocked up. It's a great value and I'll have a link to that down below if you're interested. Another easy thing you can do to make sure you're getting the most fuel economy out of your truck is simply by checking your air filter. So with the case of a 3rd gen Tacoma, the upper air box is located underneath the hood, and all you have to do is pop off these 2 clips, and your air filter is right here. So this is my air filter, and if you're a regular viewer on this channel, thank you, but you'll also recently know that I upgraded to this TRD Performance Air Filter from the stock paper one. Here in Southern California, I find that my air filters collect a lot of dust, and actually the paper ones need a replacement about every 2,000 to 3,000 miles just because of all the dust here. So a lot of times I would shake out the dust or try to blow out as much as I could to extend the lifetime of it until I upgraded to this one, which doesn't need replacing and just needs to be clean. And I just cleaned this one, and really you just want to have a clean filter so that your engine can get the maximum airflow to it, because if you're getting less airflow to your engine, that means there's less oxygen for fuel to combust, which is going to lower your fuel economy. The paper ones aren't too expensive when you need to replace them, but I really like this TRD one because it's designed to never need to be replaced. You only clean it and it gives you better airflow to your engine. If you guys want to get more detail about why I specifically upgraded to this filter and I upgraded to the TRD air intake, I'll have that video linked down below in the description for you. But anyways, even though it's really simple to make sure your air filter is clean and it's pretty easy to replace it, sometimes it's something that's overlooked and it can decrease your fuel economy if it isn't clean. So there are many other ways to improve fuel economy in your truck without changing your driving, like getting your ECU reflashed, getting a tonneau cover to increase aerodynamics, and more. I'd love to hear your other suggestions in the comments down below. Definitely my favorite of the three I talked about today is the Techron fuel system cleaner, just because I think it's the easiest of the three to use. But I'm excited to see the results on that, and you guys will have to stay tuned for a video on that as well in the future. Thanks so much to today's video sponsor, Techron. If you're interested, I'll have a link to their website down below where you can learn more about Techron, their history, and see which products are right for you. If you guys want more content, you can follow me on my Instagram. It is at ChloeKuoTaco. I try to post there as often as I can. But other than that, thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.